capire chi te va bene. Se tu la parla miezza americano, quando si fa l'amore sotto la luna, come te viene in cave di I love you. Papà l'americano.
Wait, where'd the music go? Oh, okay. Well, that was kind of random, wasn't it? The reason is this phone is quite a basic phone, doesn't have many features, so I thought in order to make this review a little more interesting, I'd make the phone dance. So if that didn't capture your attention, I don't know what would. So let's move right into the review then. This is the LG Neon by Rogers again. You're noticing that I'm using all Rogers phones, mainly because I have a Rogers SIM card. So this phone is one of the more basic phones I'll be reviewing. I usually try to do smartphones and some things that are more interesting, people like to read about more. But this is one of the basic phones, it's one of the mainstream phones that I'll be reviewing. It's far too basic and cheap to have a really long review, so I guess this review will be my shortest one yet. On the outside, you have a 2.4-inch QVGA resolution screen with capacitive touchscreen available. We'll talk about that a little more later. You also have your selection buttons, your D-pad, call and end call button, as well as your keypad button and your clear or delete button. On the right side, you have your microSD SIM card slot and your headset and charger connection. On top, you only have your battery release button. On the bottom, you have your microphone pinhole only, otherwise it's bare. And on the left, you have your camera key and your volume rockers. On the back, you have a 2-megapixel camera with your loudspeaker grill, as well as when you open the battery, you have your battery pack, and underneath it is the SIM card slot. The general build quality of the phone is okay. I really hate the flimsy battery cover though. It takes forever to put it back on and it just feels really, really cheap. If I open it again, you guys will see it's very plasticky and cheap. It just feels like a flap, and well, it is a flap, and it isn't really doesn't give off a good feel about the phone. Otherwise though, the sliding mechanism of the phone, which reveals the full 3-row QWERTY keyboard, is quite good actually. It feels very solid. It has a spring-loaded mechanism and is great and feels quite solid. The phone itself as well is all built out of plastic, but it's soft touch plastic, so it feels quite nicely to hold, and has a 2-tone, 3-tone design, and it looks pretty good. When you slide open the phone, you are greeted with the 3-row keyboard. The keys are circular, which is odd in comparison to most phones that you're used for. As well, the phone opens to the left instead of to the right, as most phones do. So that's a little different as well. I found myself a lot trying to open it this way. But once again, the keys are circular and they are very flush with the surface. There's excellent spacing between them. You won't be pressing one key instead of another, but you have to press hard on the keys because they're very flush, and in order for you to actually get the keys pressed, you have to apply a lot of pressure. So I find that to be quite a bit of a problem in terms of fast typing. On the other hand, this phone does have quite a cool feature, which is its capacitive touchscreen. Unfortunately, the capacitive touchscreen does not work anywhere. So in the menu, which you access through the center key, you don't have any capacitive touchscreen ability at all. There's nowhere is this capability open except for where you click the dialer and the numbers show up on the screen, and then you can use the touchscreen. In here, it's actually excellent, and the sensitivity is quite good. Just a simple touch registers. And there is also haptic feedback, but it's very limited. Nowhere else can you use this, so I find this quite a odd move in order to have this feature on the phone and then to save costs not enable it anywhere else. Well, that's not really saving costs, is it? Because it's there, you just haven't enabled it. So let's talk about the web browsing experience a little bit. The internet browser on this phone is quite dismal. The small screen size as well as the low resolution, combined with the general slowness of the phone, don't make a great web browsing experience. But then again, you don't really expect that of a quick messaging, basic phone. Everything else is quite familiar to all other LG users. The menu system is very similar. It even has the numbers beside each icon, which you could use as deep number pad to select, even though this phone doesn't have it. A little problem that I have is this phone is quite slow to respond. So as you can see, the screen is this way. I'm going to slide out the keyboard. It takes a noticeable time for it to revert back, and it just detracts from the user experience. The messaging application is as you expect. You have symbols enabled, as well as your function key gives you access to the numbers. As well, you can have a shift key, dedicated shift key, in which you can write capital letters. So that's good. You also have your selection buttons brought down here, so which allows you to then take these selections. However, what I find odd is that your OK button becomes your enter key, and then you can't select this except with the center button up there, which does get quite annoying. You keep going here and then up there to click send to, and it's the sending process takes 2 steps, which means you have to write the address. Even if you have written the address previously, you still have to go through the send address part again. So it doesn't, when you click send, it doesn't actually go. So that is quite a little annoying as well. The camera quality of the phone is what you'd expect. It's just your very basic camera. The images are faded and noisy, but you don't really expect much more out of a 2-megapixel fixed focus camera. There is a portrait mirror included for taking self-portrait shots. What I find quite odd, though, is because the slider mechanism opens to the left, it means that your camera button is on the left. So that's kind of poor for right-hand users, because when you hold the phone in a natural position to take a picture, the camera key goes in your left hand, under your left finger, which when you turn around to take self-portraits of yourself is okay, I guess, but how many times do you do that? You know what I mean? It's more, you mostly want to look at the image, and that's only for left-handed people, so that's a little odd for me. In terms of battery life, this phone does last quite good on standby time, even though it has a relatively small battery. But I haven't charged it since I got it, and it's still been on 2/3 full. That's what it shows. So it's quite good, but I presume with a little more usage and texting, the battery life will drop dramatically. So you will need to charge it every 2 or 3 days. Thankfully, there isn't any Wi-Fi or any other or a large screen where it would draw a lot of battery life out of the phone. So that's a good plus. As well, there's been quite a little controversy as to what size micro SD card this supports. Well, on the spec sheet it says 4 gigabytes. I inserted my 8 gig card, and it didn't recognize all the files. It recognized the card, but it only recognized a few of the files and not all of them at all. It didn't recognize any music or any pictures. It only recognized some pictures and no music. So I guess you're better off sticking with a 4 gigabyte card to make sure that it is compatible. Overall, though, it's a great phone for the average teenager who just wants to text and wants a full QWERTY keyboard. Doesn't have much features, so therefore it's not very expensive. I do, however, wish it had a 3.5mm headset jack, so you could use your own headphones, but now because of this port, you're only limited to the headsets that offer with the handset. Overall, a great value, and I would recommend it if you guys don't mind the lack of the features. Thank you very much for watching this review, and tell me if you guys liked the interesting part at the beginning or not. Alright, bye.